guys, it's Carolyn with Crafting with Wine, and I wanted to do a quick, easy, and very simple little project that I wanted to share with you. And what I've used here on this piece of craft cardstock is a stencil, and I got these stencils from the Stencil Revolution. They're an American-based company here out of Florida, and I'm washing this stencil right now, so I won't be able to show it to you, but it is absolutely gorgeous. The stencil is. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. And what I did was tape it down to my cardstock, and I used some Stampin' Up! Rose Red ink, and I believe this has been discontinued for years, but I've had it for quite a while, obviously. And then just an ink blending tool. And then I mixed up, for these little pink hearts here in it, I mixed up some texture paste and added this Distress Stain Abandoned Coral in it to get the color, because this is white, obviously. And then I put it just on those two hearts. So absolutely gorgeous stencil. Absolutely love it. And their prices are incredible. I'll leave a link to the website, Stencil Revolution, in the description box below, so please go over and check them out. I also got this big pair of lips, and it looks all cruddy right now because I've used it already and made a project with. And then this beautiful XO and these gorgeous hearts that are on here as well. Love those hearts, and it's very pretty. And then I got this one that has the words on it. XOs, Be Mine, Hugs, I Love You, which I've used, True Love, and Smile. So I wanted to share those amazing stencils that I got. And what I'm doing is making quite a large bag with this, and I wanted this to be the front. And what this bag is for is going to be for my husband, for part of his Valentine's gift from me. And we have been married, will soon be 28 years. We'll be married 28 years in June. But the very first Valentine's Day that we were ever together as dating, I gave him a giant bag, handled bag full of Hershey Kisses, and he loved it. So and I have done that every year since. So this is the little bag that I'm making myself this year to put his Hershey Kisses in. So what I have here is two pieces of craft cardstock that measures 12 by 11. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the first piece on the 12-inch side, and I'm going to score at 2 and 10. I'm going to rotate this because I have an image and a design. I'm going to rotate it to the right, and I'm going to score at 2 inches again. So you can see this is going to be quite a large bag. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this piece. On the 12-inch side, I'm going to score at 2. Oops, that didn't feel right. 2 and 10. And I'm just going to rotate it to the right and score at 2 again. So that's how I'm doing this. So let me put this away and find my bone folder. And I'm just going to fold and burnish my score lines. So there's that one. So I'm going to set this to the side, and now I'm going to do this one. And you got to give that texture paste some time to dry if you want to head over to Stencil Revolution and get those stencils or make something similar to this. and my texture paste has been drying for several hours. But I put it on thin. I didn't have to let it dry that long if I didn't want to, but I chose to. So, and now I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and obviously this is the bottom of our bag, and we got these squares on the end, and what I'm going to do is just cut up that score line, and I'm just going to miter into my square, not the rectangle, not that big long rectangle, just the square. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, just miter in. So it looks like that. Now, let's do the same thing on this one. And there we go. It looks exactly the same, as you can see. Let's get rid of these scraps. Those thrown away. And then the next thing that I have here is some red cording that I'm going to make for the handles. But I'm going to pull in my crocodile. And what I'm going to do before I even start to put this together, and I want to use the big end. This makes a big hole and a little hole, and one is 1/8 of an inch, and I believe the other one makes a 1/2 inch. No, here, if I can read, this one makes 3/16 of an inch hole. And this one makes 1/6 of an inch hole. That's how that works. And this has got a little black thingamajig here that moves up and down. So you can set that so you automatically know exactly how far you want to go into the paper and do that. So what I want to do is I'm just measuring how far in I want to go. I want to go in a little bit more, so I'm moving my black. That's good for me right there. And now I know exactly where I want, how far in I want the other one to go, and do that as well. So, and my holes didn't punch all the way through, so let me, and it's because it's craft cardstock, it's very fibrous, so it makes it difficult to punch holes in and work with. So I'm going to pull this off, those off, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just line these two up. So I know where I want to punch these holes. I'm just going to take my pencil here and go in and do that. So now I know exactly where I want these holes punched on this side. So, and I already know how far in I'm going because I've already got this little black guide punched or marked. Oh my goodness. And right like that, and because that one didn't punch through again, which I knew it wouldn't, I'm just going to line it up and do it again on the other side, and that will help me remove it a little easier. And again, I'm just going to take my paper piercer and poke through and push those out again. So there we go there. And I just now realized I didn't get out my tape that I wanted to get out to put this together. How this is going to go together is like so. It's so large it makes it a little more difficult to see, but we're going to tape this one into place. And I'm leaving these tabs here. We could cut them away very easily. And if you want to get rid of the bulk, you can. But I'm going to leave them to make it a little sturdier, is why I'm leaving them. So let me go get my score tape is what I want to use, and I'll be right back. Okay, I put this one together. So now we're going to do this one. And what I'm going to do, I've pulled out my 1/2 inch score tape, red line tape. Just going to put down a couple layers, or a couple pieces on this side. I think the cold weather here has got my mind a little slow today. It's very cold. We even called work off today. It's so cold. We're not used to these kind of temperatures. It's a -2 out with a wind chill of a -25 right now. So we're getting some really powerful Arctic blast of air. I would prefer snow over this. I think it's too cold to snow. So I just use the end of my bone folder to burnish down my score tape, red line tape. That way I can just take my little paper piercer and peel the backing off of it very easily. So that's all that I'm doing here. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to line up this edge here that's attached to this straight edge here. So just going to flip it over, line it up, and do the exact same thing there. And there we go. So this is the front of my bag. This is the back of my bag. I want the back of my bag to sit on the inside here, and I want that so I don't have any seams in the front. All of my seams are going to be to the back of my bag. So the next thing that I want to do, and it doesn't matter which piece you lay your tape on, but just know where it's going once you do. If I put it on my front side, I need to put it to, on the inside here, on the inside and the inside. If I did the back piece, I'm going to do it all on the outside. So the outside is going to be a little easier to get the score line tape on. I should have done that before I taped it all up. So I'm going to use the back piece here, and and because this is going to hold Hershey's Kisses, and quite a few Hershey Kisses, I am going to put at least 2 strips of red line tape here down the bottom, because it needs to hold up and hold all of the things I'm going to put in it. And I haven't bought my Hershey Kisses yet, because I'm waiting to get them in the red foil. And then I'm just going to really press that into the fibers of that craft cardstock with my thumbs real well. And then I am going to do 2 down the sides, outsides of this one too, because remember, this is the back piece, so all of my tape's going to go on the outside. And you could do this with wet glue too. I just didn't want to wait for the wet glue to dry, and hopefully I can get it lined up the first time well. And that's the reason I already poked my holes in too, or punched my holes in for my handles. And let's get those pressed down real well there. And now we'll just go ahead and take off the backing. Sorry, it's so big I'm having a hard time getting this to fit in the camera. So you guys can see, and so I can see to do it. Oh my goodness. And not get stuck. Okay, now I got to be careful because now I have two very, very sticky sides. I don't want that to stick to my grid paper by any means at this point. Then we got a real mess. Okay, got those all off. Clean up my mess. Okay. So I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to fold in the sides the best that I can while I put in the bottom with it aligned. Okay, good. Good to go. Now we'll do the side and fold those up. Okay, I'm just going to put my hand in there and get those down good. And let's see what the finished dimensions are of this. So it's 8 inches wide by 9 inches high by, it should be 2 inches deep, and it is. So like I said, it's a nice big bag. That'll hold tons of stuff. Tons. And now I'm going to take my little cording, and because I want 2 handles, I'm going to feed it through the front, pull it through, and tie myself a knot. And I'm going to do a double knot so it doesn't come out. Then put the other side through. Okay, and I'm going to cut off the ends because they look all ratty. So, and now let's do the other side. When we do the back side, again, we're going to go in through the front. And double knot again. And then we're going to cut off these ratty ends. Pick up my mess. And there we go. I think it's super cute. And then you can embellish it any way that you want. And I'm giving it to my husband, so I don't want to over embellish it because with the pink and red it's girly enough, but Valentine's Day is kind of girly, you know. And I'm going to make a little tag to put on here as well, and I'm going to hang it from the cording that says who it's to and who it's from. But I love the stencil. I think they are absolutely gorgeous and they're beautiful, and I hope that you guys go over and check out the Stencil Revolution. Like I said, I'll have a link to them in the description box below, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers.